So we are continuing our data analysis class. From the last time, we decided or we discussed about Tableau calculated fields. And in this part also, we will continue with more calculated fields, how to create them. So we have connected the same sample superstore data set, and we'll create another sheet here so that we can create a calculated field and analyze things. Just for revision, calculated fields can be created either from here. You just click this small icon and you can click create calculated fields. You can also go to analysis and from here you can create a calculated field. Or suppose in your calculated field you want to use a particular field. So you can right click on that field and then you can create a calculated field. Now today's first calculated field that we will discuss is, again, there are many types of calculated field, many calculated fields, but uh, in our class we will discuss most of the calculated fields which are, which will be required by us more, or you can say which are more important, right? Then obviously while doing a lot of exploratory data analysis, a lot of practice, when you will get stuck somewhere, maybe the solution of that problem will be a calculated fields. So in our practical cases, like whatever data you will analyze as a practice, we will see more calculated fields. But in the session that we are doing, we will focus on the important type of calculated fields. One such calculated field or function is index function. Now what happens is, suppose someone gives us a question, what are the top 10 categories or subcategories on the basis of amount of sales? Okay. So answer is very easy. You just drag subcategory here and you also drag sales here. Okay, and this will create a bar graph for us, but we will change it to this tabular format. Now we can right click here and we can sort descending or sort ascending. Okay. So because we have to tell top 10 subcategories from the point of view of sum of sales in them. Okay, so we have done this, and we can actually drag this to highlight the category name. You can see this small icon here. This can also be used for ascending or descending the name, okay, like alphabetical order, and this will help us in numerical order. Okay. Format, on the other hand, the format fields is a styling option. Like from here you can style your data. So for example, what font do you want to use in your default Tableau? So here you can see, let's say we want to use white Latin, right? So you will see subcategory name change to white Latin regular. Suppose I want to select a particular data and then format it. So you can right click it and format. So this will give you another worksheet option. From here you can choose different type of formats. For example, let's say this one. Let's say we want to change the default size to 20, okay, or size to 12 or 14. So today what you will do as a part of your assignment, you will try formatting this also, right? Worksheet means the entire worksheet. Okay. And when you take your mouse over to something, any data, so you will see a pop-up. Can you see here? In the pop-up you can see subcategory sales tables, right? This particular pop-up is called tooltip. This particular dialog box or whatever you call it, it's a tooltip. So if you have to change the font size of tooltip or color of tooltip, you can do it from here. Okay? So now you can see font size is increased, color is increased. So this is one important thing. Okay. Now this is a sheet and we can edit the title also. So this title is currently called a sheet name. Okay. And if you see closely, this sheet name is written inside these angular brackets. Okay. Because it is a variable. It is, so you should not change sheet name from here. Rather you should change the sheet name from here. Okay. So because when you will name your sheet something, that value will be fetched by that variable. So let's say top 10 subcategory by sales value or whatever you want to call it, and this will give you data. You can edit your title and again change the color of your title to your color scheme. So you have to select it and then change as you do in Microsoft Word or Excel. Apply and open. What happens is when you work with some brands or a company, so most of the times these companies have a brand guideline. Okay. And in their brand guideline, some type of fonts and some type of colors are predefined. So whenever we are preparing a report as per their brand guidelines, we are sometimes asked to follow the color, follow the font of that brand guideline itself. So that is very important. That's why formatting is very important. So you have to see this. Okay? We'll discuss about this formatting later. From here you can change the alignment, as you can see whether it will be aligned left, right. You can change the text. Sometimes you must have seen like this. Sometimes vertical or sometimes horizontal or like this. So you have to, if you have to adjust this, you can adjust from here. If you have to adjust the vertical alignment, like bottom or top, because currently we don't have enough gap, but if we have that enough gap, then those vertical alignment, text wrapping can be done. Sometimes we have to wrap the text. So this is all you have to try today, and we will discuss more about this. Now let's continue to our calculated field index. Now since we want top 10, how can you select top 10 from this? Like phone, chairs, storage 3, tables minus machine 6, accessories, copiers, bookcases 9, and appliances 10. So we are saying we want top 10 subcategories by sales, but these are more than 10, right? So if someone asks you, but we want top 10, how can you give this? And if you remember, Priyanka, in our previous case, that Northwind file that I discussed with you, the Northwind questions. So there also you saw, right? There are some questions in which top 10, top 20, top this type of questions are asked. So what you do in SQL, like if it is SQL Server, you write select top 10, something like that. Select top 10 subcategory, comma, sales, and something like that, right? In case
Yes,
of
sir.
MySQL, how you write is like select subcategory, comma sum of sales. Okay. And whenever we are writing an aggregate function in SQL, so with aggregate function, this table is orders, right? From orders group by. So we always use group by, okay, and group by
Limit
subcategory.
user engagement.
What? Can you
Limit.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, yeah. That's correct. So we'll group by orders, and then finally we will order by. Before applying limit, we use order by, right? Order
Yes, sir.
by sum of sales. We have not used any aliases, so we are just writing the function here. Order by sum of sales, and we'll write limit 10. So more or less this will be your MySQL or SQL query for this. And in case of SQL Server, where it supports a top keywords, you can write top 10, the top star, or whatever. Now here also we have the same thing, but we'll do it with the help of index. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to create a calculated field, and we will call this index simply. Okay, just remember this, and we will create a function that is called index. So this is a dynamic function, and as the name suggests, the meaning of this is you can call it index of the current row in the partition. Okay, index means position. Index means rank or some kind of thing, right? Like what is the current position? As we write serial number, right? When we do calculation or when we write a tabular data, sometimes we write serial number. In the Excel file also you find index of each row, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the same way, this is index. You will click apply. Now once you have applied, click OK. We will drag this index to our table calculation. Okay, we'll change it to table once again, and you will see subcategory index. Okay. So now what we can do is we can drag this index again to filters position. Okay. So you can drag it to filters position, and now you can see what is the filter first of all. As the name suggests, it will help us in filtering the data or trimming the data as per our need or selecting the data as per requirement. The question says we want to select top 10 subcategory by sales value. So we have done the arrangement by doing order by. You can recall from it. So we have done order by. We have selected these two columns. Now we just have to apply a limit here. So to apply a limit here, you just have to write the number that you want to keep. So we want to keep from index 1 to 10, right? We'll apply. Okay, and now you will see we have top 10 subcategory by sales value. Okay, and this is how you can filter data, and you can filter top 10 anything. Okay, top 10, top 5, whatever you want based on the graph. So this is index for us. Now there is one more thing. Later we will discuss about parameters also. So and you can do one more thing. You can actually show this filter. Currently you can see on our sheet there is no sidebar here, no right sidebar. But if you will right click your filter field and click on show filter, then that field will start showing. Can you see that? And now your filtering becomes kind of dynamic. Okay, and you can decide what type of, you know, you can decide some style for it also. So if you will click on it, you can show it like at least. Okay, so here it is at least. You can show it like at most. We have to do at most because we want top 10, right? So it will be like this. So you can show it like at most, and on the basis of your selection, your records will also get changed. Is it okay? So this is how you can create interactive reports, right? Interactive reports is where people can actually apply filters and see the data as per their values. Now there is one more thing. Let's edit the title. Okay? And when you will edit the title, you will see a thing called insert here. Can you see a simple button which says insert? Now what this insert means is it is showing us these variables. These are all variables. Okay? For example, full name. So currently, suppose if I am logged in Tableau, so that full name, right? And username, measure value. So let's say we want to show measure value. Okay, measure values are index and sum of sales. Let's say. So what you will see in top 10 subcategory by sales value 1, 2, 3, 3, 0, 0, 7. Okay. So it is showing us measure value. So we will discuss about this later also, like how can we configure all of this. Okay, this is page count, page name, page number. So we can also select subcategory, data source name. So we will discuss about this later. What we'll discuss is what if we change it from top 10 to anything else. You get my point? Like suppose we select 5 here, so it should say top 5, right? So that we will do with the help of a thing called parameters. This we will discuss later. It will be a separate chapter. So when we will create these parameters in our Tableau, so those parameters will actually help us in defining these things. Okay. So there is some error for parameter, although we'll discuss parameters later. So parameters becomes very important when we have to dynamically show data, and when we have to dynamically show on the basis of change in the filter. If we have to show it on our sheet also, show it on the visualization also. That's what that parameter does. So we'll discuss that. But remember, parameters and calculated fields are used in conjunction to give us better interactive results. After discussing index, we'll discuss more about filters also. Okay. Suppose you are asked to show data. Okay, show data for state California, city LA, and let's say category furniture. How can you do this? So this type of result can be achieved with the help of filters. Now in data, first of all, we have to confirm what data we have to tell. So let's say show sales and profit. So let's try and create something like this. So if you are asked to apply multiple conditions, then filters will be used. So today we'll focus more on use of filters also. First of all, they want us to show sales and profit. Okay. So from here we will drag sales and we will drag profit. Okay. So we have dragged the two variables, sales and profit, and it started showing full total sales and total profit without any condition. Okay. Now, first thing is state. So we'll drag state to a field. Now, in this case, in earlier case, you saw a range selector. Do you remember? Here, in the previous example, you saw a range selector. So this is a range filter. Range filter is like this, right? So when the data is numerical, you will see a range filter. But when the data is a dimension, so in that case you will see a checkbox. Okay, checkbox based filter. So in checkbox based filter, you can either select one or you can select many. But in our case, we just have to select California. So we'll simply click apply. And now what we are seeing is sales for sales and profit for California. Okay, and we'll edit title, insert state. So we'll write state sheet name. So instead of we'll write state, let's apply. And here we will rename it to sales and profit. So are you able to understand this first of all? California sales. How is California sales and profit coming here? Because we have inserted another variable in the title. That variable is the state. So whatever fields you are using in a sheet, whether in filter or row or column or marks, it will start appearing here. Okay. So we have simply made it bold. You can do italic also, whatever you want to do. You can do that style, text for people. Don't forget to apply. Now let's show this filter. Okay. Let's show this filter. You can see California is selected. Let's select Florida. Okay. So now you can see automatically you will see and California and Florida
Yes, sir.
sales info. So
Yes, sir.
this will make your title dynamic also. Okay. So always remember that's why in Tableau it is a really nice thing that you can do to explain your data to the visitor, right? Remember, you are creating this for end users, right? Uh, your analyst, your management team, your sales team, or your operations team might be looking at it. So you have to, if you can create more titles like this, so it will be easier for them to understand. Now, so this is California sales info. Okay. So now state is, you can see it is in form of select. That means or, right? In terms of SQL or in terms of programming, this is or operator. When we can select multiple values, this is or operator. Okay? So state is California or Illinois or Kansas. Okay? But what we can do is we can also change this arrangement. So from here you can click and you can actually call it single value list, single value drop down. Okay, so select single value drop down. You will save a lot of space, and this will select only one value at a time. Okay, and you will be able to see that. So you can make these type of changes also. whether it's a multiple value drop down, it's a multiple value list. You can also create a multiple value drop down. In multiple value drop down, it will be a drop down, it will save your space, and then you can also do this. Right? So multiple values are selected. You can see multiple values are selected, but you are not able to see which values. But here you can actually see that California and Illinois are selected. Okay, important thing. Now we also have other variables like city and category. Okay. So because we have to do a city of California, so we have to drag city also. So let's drag city in filters and let's try it. Okay, let's apply. Okay. Actually, we don't have to show this, but again, you can show this in filter as a single value select. So you can see. Okay, let's select Georgia. So here you can see data will go because this city does not belong to this state. So you have to be very careful while selecting this also. So now we have selected this city. So what we can do now, we would have figured it out, is we have added one more dimension here, so we can show it. So what we can do, we can write another variable here called city, comma state. We can write this comma also. Let's try. So you can see Los Angeles, California, citizen. Now category is furniture. Now category is very easy. You can simply that category, and from here you can select furniture. But all this exercise was to just let you know how filters work and how you can actually visualize this data by using these fields. And you can go to show me and you can change it to a table, so a tabular text, so that you can see the data in form of table. So this is a very simple exercise to cover what you can do with this. Okay. Now after this we'll do a very small exercise about conditional column or something, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So if you look at it, okay, if you look at the data, in data you can see there are a lot of categorical variables, and for example category furniture, office supplies, technology, state is there, region is there. Let's say region, let's consider region. If you have to count how many orders are there for south region, okay, and actually we'll apply this calculated field in one more example, that is IPL data set. So in IPL data set, suppose you have to count how many sixes were hit in a particular match. So that we'll discuss, but we'll just create some kind of ground knowledge because this type of variables will be used a lot. For example, you have to count how many male passengers are there, how many in a data set that we did about tips, how many smokers were there. So, so actually finding that number is not easy. Let's say how many orders were there from South. Let's say. How many orders from South? Okay. So it is easy. You just have to drag region here. Okay. One way to do this is use this dynamic field order count, which is a generated field, not a calculated field. So a generated field is actually recreated by Tableau, generated by Tableau. Calculated field is something that we are doing. So this is a region, and you can see in South, count of orders is 16. Further, you can use region in filter and select only South region to make sure that you are showing the correct data. Like what are the total number of orders in South, and you can show it as a number by selecting table. So region South 1620. Fine. How can we do this with the help of calculated tool? There are multiple ways of doing this. Today we are going to do this with the help of a conditional statement. If else. Okay. So we'll call it is South sales. Okay. Or is South order. Whatever you want to call it. Or is it an order from South? So it is a question type of thing. Okay. Now, if we can write if here to understand its syntax, if we can see if then else. So this is how you write if expression then else. So we'll discuss if else today. You can watch our previous video also where we discussed about this. But here we'll write if region equal South, and because South is a string value, it's not a variable, we will write it inside a string value, then 1, else 0, end. If then else end. This is how you have to write. If you ever forget this, you can see if then else end. Okay, and we'll also use else in other examples. So what does this mean actually? It means it will loop through the entire table. Okay, and in the region column, if it finds the region to be South, it will write 1 in that column, and if the region is not South, it will write 0 in that column. So first let's apply this and click OK, and when you will come to your data source, you will see somewhere that column would have been created. Okay. Can you see the column? Is South order. So in the cases where South region is there, 1 is written. In all other cases, 0 is written. So suppose we insert a column here, okay, and we call it is South. Is this South? Yes or no? Yes, right? So we'll write 1.
Yes.
Is this South? Yes. 1. Is this South? No. 0. Is this
No.
1. 1. So do you get what
Sir,
it is doing?
सर हम लोगों ने तो ऑलरेडी साउथ से फिल्टर लगा करके सेल्स देख लिया था ना. आप ये सेकंड मेथड बता रहे हो इफ देन एल्स का.
Exactly.
तो मतलब जहाँ जहाँ साउथ होगा वहाँ 1 होगा और बाकी सारी जो फील्ड्स होंगी वो 0 हैं. तो हमने तो सिर्फ 1 ही को देखना है बेसिकली.
1 1 0. 1, 1, right? And if you sum this, okay, so the sum will give you what? The total number of rows where 1 is there, right?
Yes, sir.
Because 0 is 0. So now what we'll do, again we'll go to sheet and we'll simply, because it's a calculated field, okay, so is south order, and because it's a numerical field, when we'll drag it, it will automatically do its sum. And let's, can you see? So count of orders by generated field is also 1620, and count of orders by the field that we created is also same. Okay, this is very important because you cannot always apply a field. Okay, sometimes you have to just count that value, right? You just have to literally use that value, like total number of orders in south multiplied by something. Okay, let's say, just giving a simple case, let's say the tax in south region is different than tax in north region. So
Mm.
you have to calculate profit. Okay, so in that case also you can do something like this, right? You can create a calculated field, and then you can use this calculated field in finding out tax in the south region, tax in the north region. You can do a lot of things, but these are small little things that you can learn. So tomorrow when we'll do another example, that is IPL dataset. So in IPL, what happens is whenever batsman plays a particular delivery, so what happens is there are multiple things that can happen, right? So is wide, is no ball, is free hit, there are many things. Yeah? Is boundary, let's say is 4, is 6, batsman run. This type of values are there. If it is a wide, it's not a wide, it's not a no ball, it's not a free hit, but it is a 4. If it's a 4, it can be 6. Batsman run
Mm.
4,
Yes, sir.
right? So this type of data will be there. I will explain the data first, and then in that data we have to calculate how many fours Virat Kohli has hit. Okay, so that type of, so here you can see, right, count of sixes, count of fours. So this type of dashboard, actually, although it's a Power BI dashboard, but we can create something similar in Tableau also. And actually, I have done this in Tableau also. I will share that link with you. That's on my channel, so that you can see. So we'll do all of this in the next class. Meantime, in the meantime, you can, sorry for the noise from behind. In the meantime, you can practice all of this, whatever calculated fields, filters, and these conditional statements that we have done. So you can try all of them.